If you are hearing my voice right now, this is not an accident. I have a very specific, very powerful word for you today, and it starts with this one simple declaration. The payment has been released. We're going to talk about what that means and how your life is about to shift from a season of financial famine into a divine overflow.
I want you to let that sink into your spirit. This isn't just a nice phrase or wishful thinking. No, this is a divine announcement. It's a memo from heaven declaring that the struggle you've been in, it has an expiration date, and that date is right now. Consider this your divine appointment.
You know that feeling, right? That constant tightness. It feels like no matter how hard you work, how much you pray, there's a leak in the bag. Money comes in and poof, it's gone. An unexpected car repair, a surprise medical bill. It's a cycle designed to keep you just barely getting by. Well, that cycle is breaking.
Maybe you've even cried out with a question like this. It's that desperate moment where you look at your dreams, your family, your purpose, and then you look at your bank account and they just don't line up. I'm here to tell you that the God of Elijah, the God of supernatural provision, has heard you. And the answer is coming back. I have released the payment.
Now, in order to really understand the solution, we've got to diagnose the problem correctly. See, what you've been experiencing isn't just bad luck or a poor economy. No, there's something deeper going on. We have to look at this as a spiritual trap. Let's call it what it is, an attack. Your financial struggle was not random. It was a targeted spiritual strategy. Why? Because an enemy knows that if you're constantly worried about paying rent, you don't have the time or energy to use your voice. This was a plan to keep you quiet, to keep you from funding and building the things God has called you to build. You see, there are two modes of operation. The enemy wants you stuck over here in survival mode, constantly worried, kept quiet, always living on just enough. But God's plan for you is over here in dominion mode, where you're building his kingdom, you're full of energy, and you are operating from a place of overflow. And the announcement today is that the wall between these two modes has just been shattered. Think of it like this. You are shifting from the season of manna to the season of Canaan. Manna in the desert was just enough for one day. That's the check-to-check, miracle-to-miracle life. But Canaan was the promised land. It was about owning the vineyards, eating the fruit of the land, and having enough to create generational wealth. This isn't just a small raise. This is a total change in your source of supply. So you're probably asking, okay, how? How is this actually going to happen? Well, the belief is that God is shaking the entire system to release your portion, and it's going to manifest through three very specific, very tangible financial miracles.
Let's dive right into the first one. This one deals with your past. It's about wiping the slate clean.
That's right. The very first thing that's coming is the miracle of canceled debt. This is designed to cut the anchors that have been holding you back and weighing you down. We're talking about a Jubilee anointing. What does that mean? It means things like student loans being forgiven, credit card balances gone, overwhelming medical bills wiped out. It can even look like supernatural settlements, where you get a letter saying if you just pay 10%, the entire debt is considered even. Get ready for freedom. Okay, so once the old debts are cleared, we have to talk about new income. That brings us to miracle number 2. Most people are living on one single stream of income, and that's a really vulnerable place to be. But get ready for the miracle of the unexpected stream. God is about to open up new rivers of provision in what used to be a desert in your life. So what does this actually look like? That side hustle you've been working on? It's about to explode. That hobby you do for fun? People are going to start offering to pay you for it. The very things that you find easy, the gifts God put in you, are about to become new income streams. It's like God is becoming your financial advisor and diversifying your portfolios supernaturally. All right, we've dealt with debt, we've dealt with income, now for the third and final miracle. And this one is a game changer on a massive scale. This is the miracle of wealth transfer. This is built on the profound idea that huge amounts of wealth are about to be moved from the wrong hands into the right hands for a divine purpose. We call this the Joseph anointing. Just like Joseph went from the prison to managing the wealth of a nation, God is about to promote you. It's based on Proverbs 13:22, which says, "The wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just." A divine transfer order is being signed in heaven, and resources that have been misused are about to be redirected to you to fund the work of the kingdom.
But listen to me. This is so important. For any of this to stick, for you to actually hold on to this overflow, there has to be an internal shift. The battle isn't just in your bank accounts. The real battle is between your ears.
We have to break the poverty mindset. What is that? It's a trauma response. It's what happens when you've lived in lack for so long that you're afraid to spend, you're afraid to dream big because you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's preparing for famine while you're standing in the middle of a harvest field. You have to change the way you think and the way you speak. The famine mindset says, I'm broke, I can't afford it. It prepares for the worst. But the harvest mindset changes the language. Instead of I'm broke, it says I'm in transition. Instead of I can't afford it, it says I allocate my abundance. You have to start preparing for the best. And here's the bottom line. It's so simple, but so profound. You cannot receive millions with a $100 mindset. It just won't work. Your capacity to receive is locked into your belief system. You have to expand your mind to make room for the blessing that has already been released.
Okay, so let's land this plane. We know the problem, we know the promise, we know the mindset shift required. Now what do you do? How do you actually activate this divine overflow in your life, starting today?
It starts with small, powerful actions. Here's a 7-day challenge. First, perform a prophetic act. Go buy something small you've been denying yourself, a coffee, a book, whatever. And as you buy it, say out loud, I am not a slave to lack. Second, for 7 days, steer your ship. Every time you catch yourself saying, I'm broke, you stop and you change it to, I'm in transition.
And that brings us to the final, most important question. The reason for this overflow isn't just so you can be comfortable. It's so you can be creative. It's so you can build. So now that the famine is over, now that the payment is released, I have one question for you. What will you build?